Hi guys, so here we're going to talk about something called intensive versus extensive properties of matter. Now these are both going to be physical properties, so we'll refer back to those. You'll need your notes, which is your pen and paper, and your table S. If you don't have it, I can show it to you here. So we'll look at the definitions and an example of this type of problem. So an intensive property is something that does not depend on the size or the amount of substance that you have. So this is independent of the amount that you have. All right. Some examples are density, melting point, and boiling point. Meaning if I have a 10-gram sample of something and a 1,000-gram sample of something, their density will always be the same. Same thing with their melting point and their boiling points as well. So looking at table S, we can actually see that, first of all, there's a whole bunch of stuff here on table S. It's going to be really confusing, but this will be your most useful table out there. So here they show you all of the elements and their atomic number, which we'll talk about later, their symbol, their name, something called ionization energy, electronegativity, but here, melting point, boiling point, and density. This is what you want to clue in on. So really, it's saying that hydrogen will always have a melting point of 14 K, K stands for Kelvin, and a boiling point of 20 K, which is 20 Kelvin. Its density will always be 0.000082 grams per centimeters cubed. Now these are at standard conditions, and we'll talk about standard conditions later on, but at regular standard conditions, again, if you have 20 liters of hydrogen versus 2,000 liters of hydrogen, their melting points, boiling points, and densities will always still be the same between the two samples. An extensive property is something that does depend on the amount of matter that you have. So this could be like mass or volume. So obviously you need to be able to measure something, and that would be an extensive property. So here at STP, whenever you see something called STP, for now, I want you just to ignore it. It just means standard conditions. So if you see STP, don't freak out. It's okay, you haven't learned it yet, and you won't learn it until Unit 3. But that just means standard conditions. And that's really awful, but yeah, that's supposed to say standard. Which physical property of aluminum always remains the same from sample to sample? So again, it's independent of how much you have. So which one of these is independent of how much you have? You should have chosen B, density. Because mass, length, and volume, that is all dependent on how much of the sample that you actually do have. Alright? So to summarize, intensive property, it's independent of how much you have. Extensive properties, it does depend on how much you have. Usually mass, length, and volume are those three types of physical properties for that. Have a great day, guys.